should have been able to, take care of that, in regulation. I thought we didn't get to some 50-50 balls. We didn't get key defensive rebounds, excluding, the free throws at the end of regulation. There were a handful of just winning type of plays that we didn't make. That led to, a really, really tough loss, a really, really tough loss to take because, we should have won that one in regulation.
Can you guys hear me? Go ahead, Wayne.
Dan, can you talk about the incredible game that James Bouknight had and what Creighton did in the last 5 minutes of regulation and in the overtime to take him out of the equation?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously got really physical with him off the ball, which made it harder for him to cut. They sent obviously multiple defenders at him when he had the ball in his hands. But I'm not sure if there's anything tactically that they necessarily did. He just he wasn't going to have 45 by the end of regulation. This isn't a video game. And we just didn't get enough. I think what really happened to James is that we didn't get enough. We didn't get never mind a secondary scorer. We couldn't find scoring really anywhere else.
I don't need to be.
Which pretty much just kind of left him out there on an island.
Wayne, anything else?
Yes, and could you talk about the way that your guys you wanted to take out of the equation were Mahoney and Zegarowski? They averaged 31 points a game coming in. They had 21 points and shot 8 of 25. What was your defensive game plan on them?
Yeah, take those three guys out and, keep those guys under 30, was the goal. And, we wanted to keep Zegarowski from getting downhill and ball screens, and we were able to do that, very successfully. We didn't give Bullock, many chances, and Mahoney was a huge key for us as well as a 16-point-a-game scorer. We wanted to force, Bishop and Jefferson and their others to beat us. And, although Jefferson made the, leaner at the end of regulation, I think, where we lost the game, was allowing Bishop, during that one stretch to really get going. And, I'm not sure how many points a game he averages, but, but those 19, losing that center position the way we did hurt.
Tom?
Dan, I know you've been there before as a player and as a coach, but what do you say to RJ after a game or what do you say to a player when they, miss the free throws like that? I mean, obviously they know the impact. How do you kind of pick them up after something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's, he's 10 for 10 from the line at that point on the season. He's 6 for 6 in the game. He's, right now, I think he's our best chance at a secondary scorer. Somebody that's, could potentially, be a guy that, could get us, 13, 14 a game that could support James on the perimeter. He hasn't played in a while. He obviously had the sit-out year. He had he's had the COVID season too. So he hasn't had a lot of games to play to get himself in some type of a rhythm. He's, we're going to get behind him and we're going to support him. And I thought that, he really battled one of the best point guards in the country, minus the, missing the big free throws. I mean, he did, him and Zegarowski were kind of a push today. So if you'd have told me that at the point guard position, it would kind of be a push, we definitely would have taken RJ's game, but give the guy some time. You know, he sat out a full year and he's had a brutal, and just like all of us, he has not had a traditional lead up to conference play.
Mike Mavridakis?
Hi, Dan. With Isaiah Whaley fouling out at the end of the second half, what kind of effect did that have for overtime?
Yeah, I mean, that one hurt. I mean, only getting not even getting 19 minutes out of Isaiah today, you know, that hurt. You know, he's a guy that's a double-figure scorer, you know, double-figure rebound guy, and a, you know, potential, you know, first team all defense in the conference. And he, you know, he committed a really bad foul to start the second half, which really hurt. And, you know, and then, you know, because he had the fouls, you know, he wasn't as aggressive with Bishop on a couple of those, you know, critical plays where Bishop got deep position and scored on him. So, you know, Isaiah, you know, we need him on the court more like 32 minutes. And it was just one of those games where he just, you know, he wasn't as good as we need him to be.
Mike, Anthony?
Thanks. Dan, what would you say about James' approach overall as he heated up late in the first half, and then he was able to sustain that well into the second, and even as he started missing, he was certainly a willing participant ready to battle this one out. Was this a really important step forward for him?
Yeah, it was a big step, Mike. Big step for his confidence. Big step in terms of, you know, just giving you a full, you know, a full game attacking effort. You know, there's some times where he settled, but he needs to shoot. You know, he obviously people are going to take the film of this and really, you know, gimmick and do things. And we're going to have to really find creative ways to continue to get him the ball in key spots. But I mean, I don't know if we're going to get 40 from him all the time, but, you know, he is the type of guy that has a lot of days like this when people aren't watching. So we've got to get him 20 shots a game nightly. And we've got to find the second scorer.
Thanks.
Charlotte?
Hey, Dan, how much do you think that those 17 days off kind of impacted the lack of a second scorer at first? And then using this game, are you more interested in getting a second game before the December 30th? Or does this kind of to have the time off again?
Yeah. I probably can't answer that second question because, you know, I just had my heart ripped out of my chest. So I can't answer that second part on scheduling. But I would say maybe the overtime, you know, that we, you know, the 17 days caught up to us. Maybe the beginning of the game, we were just like really, really jittery and, you know, like we couldn't grab the ball and we were blowing defensive assignments. So I just think like the beginning of the game, we were a little bit out of sorts, having not played in 17 days. And then the other myriad of days we haven't, it's whatever, man. And then I would say the overtime, you know, we looked, you know, the guys had a hard time mentally putting aside what had gone on in regulation at the end there. And then there had to be fatigue there. I mean, especially because we were so limited, you know, with the bench today. No Tyler, you know, really couldn't play Andre or Adama. Those guys were just lost defensively. You know, and then Brendan, you know, what wasn't, you know, didn't play a confident game.
Bill Paxton, last one.
Hey, Dan, what do you think really got you guys turned around into that first quarter or first half? Was it just book night heating up, or anything else you noticed that kind of got you guys, you know, ramped up going into the halftime?
Yeah, I mean, Book started attacking. I think we settled. I think we settled early in possessions for some, for some bad threes early. Book started attacking and cutting and slashing, and we got our legs under us, man. It's like, that's a potential, that's a top 10 team, a team that, is as good, those guys in Villanova are the absolute class of the conference, and a team that can make a deep run in the tournament. And, we had them in regulation off a 17-day, after not playing in 17 days. We've got a chance to have a really, really good team. We just need to be able to get some consistent practices, get on a consistent game schedule, and be ready to just actually play a season without stopping and starting. Because I think this team showed a lot today. It's obviously a devastating loss, but we showed a lot of character and a lot of toughness with the way that we dragged ourselves back into that game and really should have won it in regulation. But, credit them. They took advantage of some of our mistakes.
Thank you.
Okay, Carter, that's it?
Is that it?
Okay,